Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the official ARK Podcast, number 121. My name's Brad, and I'm here with the core team. Your host tonight, as always, a fantastic leader, Atlas. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Brad, for the introduction. And folks, welcome back to another edition of the ARK Nightly Podcast. This is Wednesday, Hump Day. Our guest of honor is Kelly Snook. She's going to be here for a few minutes, answer some questions, tell us a bit about the calculator, the work that she's done, and her sister also, Rebecca Snook. And we're also going to be having some updates coming up here shortly from Brett. We also have some Medium article information, a video we want to show you. It's going to be a great podcast this evening, as they usually are. We've got a full house here. Max Power representing the Crypto Badgers, Coach Roberto, Terry Tibbs, the usual suspects, the great investors, calm, cool, and collected, growing, sailing on the ARK. Also, Donatello is going to be talking to us a little bit later too regarding the sweep widget, the Twitter component, and how we can ensure and make sure that everybody's able to follow through and get that part done correctly. So with that, we're seeing here we're at 3,456 ARK Vault accounts. We are at 455,081 BUSD in the ILC reserves. Liquidity still on the uprise, always growing at 807,058 BUSD, and the Spark prize pool for tonight currently is at $73. Sorry, 273.82 ARK, and the dollar value is $1,563.51. So far, 13,293.92 ARK have been deposited directly into the vault accounts of the past 72 winners. That is putting them into Nitro mode. The street value of that is $75,908.28. Tonight, here live, we're going to find our 73rd Spark Prize winner. And maybe it's somebody here that's live on the podcast. Maybe it's somebody that's sleeping or they're busy. But whenever they do check their D app, they're going to see that, little bell, the notification, you've won Spark. They'll see their wallet address in green. And they will notice when they go to their vault that they are growing exponentially, massively, a lot more. Doesn't matter if they are a whale investor or just a small investor getting started and playing the game here and growing through time, as everyone has the same opportunity to get to the same amount of ARK tokens, 80,000 tokens as a max payout. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Brett to get some updates from him and see what's going on. Hope you're doing well, Brett.
I'm doing great. Hope everybody else is doing good too. Had an action-packed day here in the sausage room, making the sausage. A lot of good discussions. You and I, we're going through all the paces on the back end and really, building out the utilities and getting everything in order for the end of March for the PWA launch. And so that's been a majority of my day, is working on finishing up the content for the presentation. Alex is pretty far along now with the landing page, taking the design from our designer and putting it into code. So a lot of the pieces are shaping up there. I know Crypto Love's been working on some tutorials on how to set up Trust Wallet, and I think he was working today on centralized exchange stuff in case that's needed. But our goal is to have, obviously, an on-ramp in place to be able to make it easier to bring crypto in. It's not always 100%. Not everybody can buy crypto with a debit card, so some people still might need to on-ramp through a centralized exchange. But obviously our goal is to be able to bring people in the easiest way possible. And it's a big struggle. I know Brad spends more than a minute trying to help people to bring in fiat to crypto, and it's a nightmare sometimes. So yeah, we're trying to overcome those steps and make it simple. Obviously, that's our mantra, and being able to set up a wallet is simple, but then getting the crypto in that wallet so they can exchange it for Arkfi and get started in the vault is somewhat of a step, for a lot of people. And it takes, the KYC process and getting their bank approved for debit card or ACH transactions. It's not always as easy as you think. So that's, I think, the biggest hurdle for DeFi is just, converting fiat into crypto. And we're hoping to have some solutions that will definitely help in that direction. So yeah, that's pretty much I would say the technical updates. Just as a kind of a warning, we saw a couple more people that kind of fell victim to the phishing attack yesterday. We covered it a little bit in the podcast yesterday, but it was towards the end. The DGEM protocol had noticed that BUSD was being swept from their wallet when they exchanged or swapped Arkfi for BUSD. And we had another gentleman in the tech support this morning that had the same problem. And in fact, it was the same exact problem. There was an old contract that was still approved for their wallet, and it was getting drained every time they did a transaction or swapped ARK for BUSD. So be on the lookout there. We shared a tool yesterday to be able to revoke those privileges for approved BUSD. So it's important to maybe go through your wallet periodically and just double check and make sure that the security is up to date, and those old contracts that you may have interacted with but are dead now are revoked from the privileges of your MetaMask or Trust wallet. So I just want to give a heads up on that. Was there anything else, Atlas, that comes to mind?
No, but that's a very important point and something that we should talk about more often. When you're invested into projects, it's always good to, if you're going to use the same wallet, I personally believe you should use separate wallets.
Yeah, Atlas, your mic is crackling. Sorry.
Oh, hold on a second. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Let me see. We can fix that real quick.
Yeah, while you're fixing that, thanks to Brandon for having me on your live stream. Even though I wasn't physically on there, my recording was on there. That was a privilege. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. We'll have to have you on live at some point again in the future.
Yeah,
Sorry,
let's do it. I didn't realize. I actually saw it in my feed, and then Atlas sent it to me. But he and I were on a call, just going through the utility stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna jump over there," and you're already pretty much halfway. And then I had to jump on something else, and then I came back and listened to it. It was great. So thanks for including me in the live stream.
Yeah, I also, as Shannon pointed out, I also had a chance. I had a really good question about the price and how long can we expect it to remain at this price. And so I had an opportunity to really run through the ILC on a deeper level, thanks to, I don't know if it was last night or the night before. We were pinging you, Brett, with questions. If you could give us some more details about the ILC, which of course you did. So I was able to, like Shannon said, I was able to kind of run through and explain the ILC and not necessarily.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, and just also sort of trying to set some expectations there that even though it seems like it's pegged, it's not really pegged, and just kind of explaining the dynamic range and the floor and the ceiling and all that. But it's funny because on that podcast, I didn't realize it until this morning as I was trying to, put together that little 5 or 6 minute video that I played during the live stream, that it was the Wednesday. It was podcast number 117, and I didn't realize it until this morning, but the really cool stuff that you had said about all the different, like, it was actually before we started recording the podcast. It was in the pre-podcast session where somebody asked you directly, they're like, or somebody asked, well, what are you guys doing for marketing or something like that? And you were like, boom, 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 boom. And I said, right as you finished, I said, oh, holy crap, I'm going to turn that into a video. But it wasn't recorded. So
I thought we were recording it, because I would have probably said that we weren't, or that, I think we would have brought that up, like, oh, we didn't record that. Sorry.
I know.
I don't remember what day that was, but I do remember the question. I remember you saying that. And they were talking about marketing plans and, what we were going to do next. And, I do remember that.
It obviously wasn't the recorded version.
Yeah, you covered it actually anyway, when you were talking about the PWA and the landing page and, mass market, blah, blah, blah. So you did a good job anyway. So you covered it on the podcast. But great explanation on the ILC. And I would encourage anybody that wants kind of a layman's explanation. You did a good job breaking it down, I think, to where people can understand it.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
thank you.
My explanations are only as good as the awesome product that I get to explain. So win-win situation. And it would be cool to have you guys on again, obviously, at some point, maybe a week or two down the road when we're getting much closer to the PWA or the affiliate stack is out there, stuff like that.
For sure.
But, until
cool
then,
new stuff to show, and we can walk through everything. And for sure.
That's going to be, I don't think people, it's crazy. I don't think people really get it yet. In fact, what's funny is over the last 28 days on my channel, I've actually lost subscribers. I think like 50 or 60 people have unsubscribed from my channel just over the last 28 days. And I'm like, well, that's got to be, the hardcore drip maxis that are just pissed off that I'm talking about a different platform, that's the only thing that I can figure. Because other than that, I haven't really changed anything with my format.
Yeah, we're gonna show a video tonight. And it's also fatigue. In this this DeFi space, I think a lot of people are hurt. We've talked about this. I think Atlas talked about it last night. I feel like we talk about it often, but there's that. How many more rug pulls can you take? How many more scams can you take? How many more phishing attacks can you take? And a lot of people just say, hey, I give up. I can't even listen to any of it anymore. I need to just move on. And they'll come back because, something brought them here to begin with that, wasn't just the to be here for the scams. So,
I feel like to a large extent, though, people are still asleep at the wheel here when it comes to ARK. I mean, just even without the PWA, even without the amazing affiliate funnel system that you guys are putting out there soon, even without those things, it's still, just the platform in and of itself is working phenomenally well.
Yeah. And you see, you see this, we're in a small, we always talk about this, we're in a small pond. And so when, another project suffers, or even when there's a new project that launched, a new shiny object, right? We went through this with the trading bots, and now there's a couple new projects that are out that people are, circling again. And, they take profits from one project and they put them in another. We understand that. It's just a dynamic and part of the game. But when we move into the mass market, the captive audience is going to be here. They're not, in tune with a lot of these other channels and opportunities that, get thrown in front of them, and then they chase and 90% of the time those don't work out. And so they're going to come to us for, those additional opportunities, and we're going to provide them. So we understand we have that responsibility. And when we have those new people that come in that aren't in all of these different, Telegram groups and exposed to the, the project of the week, and, I need to dump here and ape in there and all of this, it's a different mindset coming from the real world. It really is. These people are looking for guidance, help, they get locked into a project and they're like, why would I go anywhere else? This is great. I can't believe this is real.
Exactly. And I touched on that a little bit this afternoon, talking about spreading the net further, wider out, and going from 3,000 or 4,000 wallets to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of wallets. And I actually tied that in with the ILC and the BUSD reserves. And I don't know if you heard that specific part of my explanation, but I wanted to double check on that with you, where I said, that obviously the BUSD reserves in the ILC has been growing a lot, but the price ceiling is still at $5.70 some odd cents, right? So
we're not there yet. You're absolutely right. You also mentioned the ARK vault balance, which we saw come down a little bit today. Maybe 0.1% or something like that. But we're like, the needles are all right dead in the middle. We see the ILC reserves, they've come down a little bit in the last 2-3 days. They were, and it's people taking profits, and we get that, but we know that there's going to be a lot of wallets going from 2% to 1%. So it'll be interesting to see in the next week or so. I think I don't know what I estimated. I think it was 76 or 78 days, depending on the schedule they're following. You'd start to see the 1.5 CWR start to, go to 1% unless they're putting back in. So if they put back in, that helps the system as well. So,
and I don't think I specifically mentioned the vault balance, but I kind of explained that the ILC is still in accumulation mode, where it's accumulating a big bag of BUSD and still building that before it'll sort of release the ceiling a little bit and let the price creep a little higher, right? It needs to have a bigger bag of BUSD, obviously, because we haven't seen the ceiling creep higher for like 4, 5, 6 weeks now. And I don't know what that number is. Maybe you know what that number is. Maybe even if you do, you don't want to disclose the number. But I'm guessing there's some level of BUSD reserves where the ILC will finally be like, okay, I can let this ceiling creep upwards now a little bit.
And you answered it perfectly. It's really based on liabilities. So as we grow, that BUSD reserves needs to grow because wallets are growing and liabilities are growing. So, we're not going to see a ramp up, and you also mentioned that as well. Like in the best case scenario, we see a slow, steady up and to the right. And it's not going to be this, 1% a day or anything like that, where we end up at, $10 in 2 weeks or something like that. We don't want that to happen. So we're going to maintain that ceiling. And we know some big groups. We talked about Fleming yesterday, and we had some people coming over to Discord. I saw this morning, and I just, chatted them up, and we know what size teams that he has over there. So there's some teams circling that are definitely still in the pond, but would be great to have on board.
I think there's tens of thousands of folks waiting.
It's just a matter of time.
It reminds me of a conversation you and I had way back, probably 4 or 5 weeks ago now, where we were talking about the groups of people that are going to be coming in, and you were talking about some of the knobs and levers that you guys have for the ILC, and pondering maybe adjusting those a slight amount to actually let the price come down a bit. And I was like, let's see how it goes over the next week or two, because I really think we're going to see a lot of activity. This is when I just started talking about ARK on my channel, for example. And I really thought, I said, let's see, let's see how these next few weeks go, because I think we're going to get a lot of people coming into this thing.
Yeah, and you remember at that time we were in a dip. The ILC reserves were at a dip there.
Yes.
And so we were like, well, let's see, if we can recover this, then there's obviously no need to worry. And we came out of that, just as you mentioned. You were able to bring in nice big growth, and we're a big part of that. So we've been able to stay.
Yeah, definitely not just me. Lots of people.
Yeah, for sure. But you've been a catalyst in that growth for sure. And now we're seeing other teams that are sizable that we know are in other projects that are ROI dApps, and they're experts and they're educated, and they'll make another big move up, I think. So yeah, we're in a good position.
500,000 in the ILC.
I mean, and once everybody kind of catches on by the end of this month to this sales funnel system and the PWA, and kind of how get it in everybody's hands, see how it's working, and we're going to fine tune and optimize that. My guess is, April we're going to get everything out. Then, just like when we launched the dApp initially, we're going to go through some iterations of that sales funnel and fine tune it. And I think I'm probably going even overboard on the content right now. Just the length of the presentation, we probably shorten it up. We might compartmentalize it, like, oh, you want to have a more deep dive on the the referral program. Well, let's go through that and really understand that, and maybe make that part of its own education series. And then, oh, you really want to talk about the legacy NFTs? Well, let's build out a deep dive and a Zoom call just for that. So we could have multiple chapters of this curriculum, that we end up kind of peeling out over time. Yeah, right? Yeah. So, we have some ideas. I think getting a good initial run through, where you go from top to bottom, everything from, why are we here? What's DeFi all about? And then stepping through the opportunity and talk about, at least at a base level, the different aspects of the protocol, and touch on the things that, most people are concerned about. Where are the security audits? Where can I view those? Where's the white paper? Where's the team page? Those kind of things that make sense. And even if the investor's not thinking about those things, we want to show them and be transparent and say, hey, here's where you go to look for these things. And these are important things to understand in any project that you get involved in. Right. So I think once we get through,
under promise and over deliver, right? Like,
absolutely. Yeah. And show them what's under the hood.
They don't realize what they don't know what they don't know. A lot of users will not know, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Better to
so I'm thinking March will be this big sales funnel push. The PWA will get out. We'll work through, kind of the learning curves people have on that, just like we did with the dApp initially. And Alex will be scrambling every day to make changes, and also Scripto King on the PWA. And we're going to have the new dApp design. We have a design review actually in the morning tomorrow on the new dApp layout and the revamp of the dApp. So that'll be fun to see. And then, Alex will have that on his plate. So he's got landing page now. He'll probably finish that up this week, I would guess. And then next week he can start on the new dApp coding, which wouldn't be, I don't think, a crazy big project for him. So we're still on pace for, kind of having this whole rebranding and marketing and sales finished by the end of the month. And there'll be quite a few pieces to it. So there'll be, I'm sure, like, okay, let's change this, let's tweak that. People don't get this, or, some of the UI UX things that you just sort of work through when you launch something that's different, and then in April, we can kind of harden that all up. And I think we can get our process nailed down. The onboarding piece is a big part of it. So we're working quickly to get that on-ramp solution, integrated, and then have that available hopefully by the end of the month if we can. If not, that's fine. We just want to get it because we know that's a big stumbling block for people to get in the investment. So then April, I would expect we're going to work through all that onboarding stuff, the white glove concierge, potentially get more people doing the Zoom presentations and start to scale that, and then make the push, from there.
And by March 18th, that will only be 3 months into this. So you guys are absolutely crushing it, which I really appreciate. I'm sure the whole community really appreciates that. And it's so important and so critical because we're gathering all this momentum. Like right now, we're gathering tons of momentum. And then that's when you really want to just step on the gas even harder, right? Mm-hmm. And we're just going to crush it come mid-March, end of March. Holy crap.
Yeah, and I think I asked Atlas to play a video. It's a Raoul Paul video, an interview with she's a vice president of Franklin Templeton, which, if you know that hedge fund, they've been around for ages. They're very traditional, very conservative. They're the ones that always sponsor the Augusta golf matches and the Masters, and they're very top tier. And she's talking about DeFi. You're like, what is going on right now? So yeah, it's a cool little clip that I wanted him to show. I don't know if we need to start the recording. Sorry,
we started
forget
the
that we're not
recording already.
Oh, we did. Oh, that's right. Okay. I don't know, Atlas. I don't want to throw off our schedule. Do you want to pull that up, Atlas, and show that clip? Since I did a really bad job of introducing it.
Yeah, let's show it. But first, I know that Kelly's a very, very busy woman.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to get her in and out.
Sorry, Kelly.
Because we can go on for hours, as everybody does.
Yeah,
I'm no busy than everyone else. I'm enjoying the conversation. Don't worry about it. I'm chill.
Yay.
Perfect. So I'll pull it up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I kind of just prefaced it, but if you know these two people in this interview, Raoul Paul's just he's a straight shooter. I like his style and his work, but he interviews a lot of great industry leaders and people that you wouldn't suspect, are in this. But now the institutional money is looking to come into this space, and so they're understanding it inside and out as well, and how they can play in this game. But she makes some very, I think, key points, and I'm going to try to integrate this video, if we can, somehow into our sales funnel presentation, kind of like, why are we talking about DeFi right now when the market's gotten punished, for the last year or so, and FTX and all these other, FUD things have happened, and why should we be building right now? Why are we getting in right now? So, yeah, go ahead.
All right, here we go. Turn up the volume on that.
Products.
Yeah. Well, to me, this was the perfect, this is the perfect bull market phenomena. And what's interesting is that, when you look at the history of the crypto markets, we really have just finished what could arguably really be described as the fourth bull market in crypto. And what has happened is each time that bull market has become increasingly amplified, and the companies that get, or the protocols that get attention during it, have become increasingly amplified. The money coming in has become increasingly amplified. And this one has wiped out, I think, and this downturn from that fourth bull market has wiped out a lot of the more questionable players. And as this shakeout finishes and we start to see the real potential of the decentralized portion, because don't forget, most of these blow-ups that we're seeing have been in the centralized players, not in the decentralized players. I like to point out to people that, we had this whole FTX situation, but in that same week, the decentralized exchanges absorbed a 4x increase in volumes with no issues whatsoever, right? So I think that as we see this next bull market take place sometime in the next 18 to 24 months, that should start to build again. This, I think, is going to be the really transformational bull market that really starts to change society and behavior.
Yeah, I was just looking through, I build Metcalfe's law models for network adoption, and, I was just going through some of the models today, and one of the things that's been very interesting about this bull market versus 2018, I've been in this space since 2013, but 2018, we saw about 60, 70% of the entire participants leave. So the active addresses went down. If you look at ETH, which is the best proximate for Web3, the active addresses have not gone down at all.
No.
So they're staying. So the adoption builds on itself. So the next phase, which that's what I want to ask you, is what do you think the next phase is? My personal opinion is it's consumerization of Web3. So that's what we've been talking about, music, NFTs, brands, and even where blockchain gets abstracted away and you don't really know, which is Reddit talking about digital, whatever it is. What do you think the next phase is here?
I think that's exactly right. I think you're already starting to see some interesting, I'd say, green shoots, right? Ether has turned disinflationary since the merge, right? Which is a signal to me that, this is now a marketplace that is becoming very attuned to supply and demand. And I think that what you will see happen is that this consumerization wave is also going to be occurring almost entirely on public blockchains. And I think a lot of what fed this last bull market were these centralized players, and the public blockchains were beneficiaries of it, but they weren't the drivers of it. And I think this next wave is when all of the apps on these decentralized public blockchains really start to take market share away from the TradFi players and take market share away from the established platform companies and start to see that money moving into decentralized peer-to-peer models. And that's going to force traditional companies to change their behavior and start to adopt the Web3 paradigms. And that's when I think you're going to get this massive bull wave, because you're really changing the foundational platforms on which society is built and operates.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, painful though these bear markets are, if you look from low to low, they're always rising. If you just look at the Bitcoin chart, even when you take the low, and I took it from like 2011 low all the way to now, it still rises on average at 140% a year.
I'll take that.
Even with the 70%, 80% swings within it. Yes. And people can't get their heads around it because people still think that this is a cyclical phenomena. It's cyclical in a secular uptrend, an exponential secular uptrend.
Yes. And look, even with the big run up and collapse that we've seen, even having we did some studies, and even having a 1% allocation to crypto assets in a diversified portfolio enhance the returns significantly and raise the risk only modestly, even with the big run up and collapse. So I think that, this will become, I like to call digital assets right now a frontier risk asset, a frontier risk alternative asset. And I think that frontier will move in very quickly, just like we saw with private credit and the emergence of peer-to-peer lending. That started as a very niche kind of dangerous marketplace. And now we're at over $1 trillion assets under management in private credit in the space of less than a decade. And so I think that it is very clear to me that the next wave up in these digital asset marketplaces is going to be driven by decentralized models, public blockchains, and the migration away from centralized to decentralized applications.
So that brings me on to something you started the conversation with, is when you got into this, you were looking at the blow up of hedge funds in 2008.
All right.
What was the timestamp of where you started that video, Atlas? Did you start it right?
I'll send it to you.
Yep.
Yes, please do. I want to forward that to my friend.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. When I saw that, I was like, whoa. Awesome. Bullish, get in now.
What's interesting too is that these, you mentioned that these big institutions are going to want to get a piece of this, but kind of by definition, they can't really. I mean, DeFi is for the individual players, not institutions. We're intentionally cutting out the middlemen and the third-party institutions, by going into DeFi. So it's funny that they recognize that and to an extent want to get involved, but you're like, well, okay, what are you going to do? Start 5,000 ARK wallets or?
Yeah. Well, I think what, yeah, I think they'll participate in that. They'll have the consumer to some extent, because that money, if you want to play in the real world, will still have to go through their rails, right? And so I think the way that they'll participate is to have that parallel system to be able to allow for the on and off ramps, and give the consumers a way to interact with those ecosystems, but not expose themselves to all of the cryptocurrencies that they might think are too risky, So I think there'll be a network effect just through their ecosystem of being able to exchange crypto and also hold NFTs, real world assets on the blockchain, all of these things that will interact, but I think DeFi will, run in parallel with that CeFi system because they don't want those necessarily all of the assets to be inside their walled garden. They won't be able to hold certain assets. They'll be considered too risky. So my guess is that they'll have risk profiles on these cryptos, and they'll be able to participate on, with certain assets, but not others.
I have been a subscriber to Stansberry Investment Advisory for many, many years now. And for the longest time, they just had various different newsletter type of products, and they would, various kinds of investing in predominantly stocks. They got into bonds a little bit, but it was this and that newsletter telling you all about, true wealth investments in stocks and this stocks and these stocks and whatever. And then they finally started a crypto newsletter service. But even that guy, I've seen some of his newsletters and stuff. He's still, in fact, I bought BNB for the very first time based on one of his recommendations, which turned out to be a great play. Bought it for like $30 or something like that. But anyway, even that crypto focused dude is writing newsletters about buying this coin or that coin, not necessarily getting into a DeFi protocol like ARK. But I predict the centralized finance systems will be more of maybe just advisory newsletter types of things, not necessarily, okay, you invest your $250,000 portfolio with Franklin Templeton and we put a portion into, I don't think it's going to work that way. Do you?
Yeah. I'm sure that there'll be like crypto funds, like you're mentioning, there'll be kind of almost like ETFs, just like they have for Bitcoin, it'll be interesting to see how the institutions can really play in that space, and then where regulation lands and what they are allowed to participate in, and how much of this market they can participate in. So
it reminds me of when you have individual investors, you're very, you can move very quickly, and you can get into these little tiny stocks, for example, that the big institutional hedge funds and whatnot, they can't invest in these tiny stocks. And so you actually end up having kind of an advantage as a little guy playing in the stock market. And I think it's the same sort of deal, having an advantage playing in the DeFi market versus some of these institutions and stuff like that. So it's almost a function of, we in DeFi need to beat the institutions to the punch. And that's just another great thing about what you guys have cooking up here at the ARK. With the PWA and the sales funnel and all of that, we are going to be beating them to the punch. We're going to be getting our message to all the little guys out there long before these institutions can catch up and even get something going, to the extent they even can get anything going in a product like Arkfi. Creak, 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 creak. Where's the cricket?
I'm in DMs here with one of our coders, but yeah, I'm listening. Oh man, we got SK Crypto K in the house, man. We've got a bunch of superstars here. We got Kelly Snug, SK.
Celebrity. ARK royalty.
Yeah, what's up? I'm just waiting outside of a dentist while the wife's doing her thing in there. I'm just sitting in a car, hanging out. What's up?
What's up? So nice to see you, SK.
Hey, Kelly. Yeah, it's been a minute. Hope you've been all right.
Yeah, I've been all right.
Are you still overseas?
No, I came home and I was so happy to be home, and then my dad fell and I had to go to Nebraska to be in the hospital with him. So, but I am back home again, and I'm looking forward to being home for a few weeks at least. So I am back in Portland.
Oh, that's not good news. But welcome back home, and good job on the calculator. Good job on the calculator.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, don't let me interrupt, guys. Go ahead and continue.
Is your father doing better, Kelly?
He's kind of not, but yeah, we're just gonna try and give it some time and see if he can, do the physical therapy and see if he can, get walking or get back up to a level where he could go back into assisted living. So it remains to be seen. But thanks for asking.
You did mention that he is at a good hospital and getting great care, which is important.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the Nebraskans. Everybody there, for everybody, the people that work for the government, for Medicare, for Medicaid, for the, all the different care homes, the hospitals, everybody is so helpful and so kind and like they actually care. It made me think maybe I might want to move to Nebraska. I don't know. It's a different experience trying to get things done there. So that's been a real big plus. I'm glad he's not in, I don't know, like New Orleans or LA or something. It's just a different world.
I've never been there, but the way you describe them, probably the way I would describe the Canadian people. They're very friendly.
Quality and friendliness, and they're just good people, it seems like. So yeah, I've been impressed.
Well, we're hoping for his speedy recovery and coming back. Do we have any questions, folks? We have Kelly here. This is the time to ask her if there's anything you want to know about the calculator.
I'm going to be here every Wednesday night, so try and spread the word so people can come and ask really geeky technological questions. If they want to, on Wednesdays, it can be a kind of a geek fest if we want it to be for a few minutes each Wednesday night. I do see that Tarmo is in the house, and I know Tarmo made a calculator. I also know I did see, I don't know if he's there. Yeah, I saw Derek. Derek's also made an ARK calculator. And so I thought I would just ask those two guys, and anyone else who's played around with my calculator, what's missing, what needs to be refined, what's been problematic, or is there anything I can do to improve the calculator? Is anyone using it? Does anybody want to use it but just gets really intimidated or something by just how user unfriendly it is? I mean, Rebecca's calculator is so easy to use and really great, and it's just right there on the app. So I guess mine is just for those people who want to really get under the hood. But yeah, I'd like to hear from people what's still missing or what could be better.
Great question. Tarno, Catalyst, Derek, the big brains in the room. What could you suggest?
Hey, Kelly, how are you going?
Hey, Derek.
Kelly, did you get a chance to add redeposit?
Oh, yeah. No, I have not done that yet. Last time I was on, I asked if that would be helpful, and I didn't hear resounding positive feedback on that, but I will. Yeah, that's something I could easily add. the redeposit.
Yeah, I've got it on mine, and it seems to be quite useful just to compare. Everyone's got their strategy, but it's nice sometimes to compare and just see what would happen if.
Yeah, totally. I'm myself. I'm doing redepositing, so these days I don't really even bother with calculating my own investments, but yeah, I remember you and I actually, when I was there, we were about different strategies, and the revisiting definitely changes strategy because it lets you stay at 2% just a bit longer. It does result in a little bit of a delay in what you get back, but then that's by the time you start claiming and selling, you've earned a bit more. So kind of catches up pretty quickly, and I think it's a really interesting strategy. I've also been thinking about trying to figure out a way to include the bonding in there, because I've just recently discovered and been using the auto bond feature in the calculator. In the options, and if you go in the little settings tab, I don't know who's controlling the screen, but you can show it. But I just think this is such a cool feature to be able to just, as you're doing your daily action, instead of selling, instead of withdrawing, instead of redepositing, you can just bond. And this Sparks prize is such an interesting amount of money every day. What I've been thinking recently is, why not just auto bond? There we go. Yeah, just auto bond instead of auto redeposit, and get more of my wallets into a qualification for the Spark prize. I don't know if I'm thinking correctly on that. Does that make sense, Atlas? Is that all we need to do is get like $250 worth of bond in a wallet, and it qualifies for the Sparks prize? Is that correct?
That is correct, 100%. That easy.
Yeah, so I've been doing that lately, and it's harder to put that into the calculator because it's a variable, like a variable yield on that auto bond. So it's not so easy to just calculate what that does to your overall investment to have that auto bonding happening. But I think it's really interesting anyway. A good point, Derek. I will add that in. I'll try and do that this week before I make a video. I'm a little delayed.
I think your point is pretty good, Kelly, about the Spark prize. I don't know if anyone's actually worked out the probabilities on it, but I would say, now that it's creeping up to $2,000 or something like that, it's probably wise to be in for the Spark prize on every wallet, if you do the maths, which I haven't done yet.
Yeah,
we have several articles. Catalyst has done a couple of them. He's here with us tonight, and he could tell you all the data you want. He's awesome.
He is awesome indeed. Early hero of mine, explaining NDV and drip in the very early days when it was really hard to calculate.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Catalyst.
Good to hear from you.
You too.
Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah.
And likewise.
Thanks for all the work you've been doing writing Medium articles about ARK. I've been really behind the curve on that just because of all the traveling, but I hope to catch up soon. Yeah. So Derek, good point on the bond. Good point on the redeposit and the thinking about the bond. What else? What else should we explain better or do better? I'm gonna make the ARK, like how to use this calculator video sometime in the next couple weeks. So what would you like me to answer or make sure I explain in the calculator?
Are you asking me? Or?
Anybody, really, anybody. I think my original drip calculator video was an hour long, which is way too long. So I'm going to try and keep this one to 10 minutes. And yeah, other than that, I don't have any specific plans yet. Script or anything.
You can make a series of YouTube shorts. Those are all the rage right now.
Oh,
TikTok.
YouTube Shorts. Okay.
Like highlight videos.
Highlight videos. Okay. I am really not a YouTuber or a content creator, and I don't have any interest in becoming one. But I do like to make things that are useful for people. So,
I apologize. The person that was asking about the probability of winning the Spark Rewards prize.
Yep.
Yeah, I've written a couple articles calculating those odds, and in my most recent one, I also calculated the odds of winning it twice, and even the odds of the probability of winning it twice, and the probability of a three-peat winner, which we are going to have one of these days because we have a few repeat winners. So it's just a matter of time. But if you're into stats, I use the binomial distribution formula to calculate all that.
Fantastic. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's under Catalyst on Medium, and I have a
I'm following you. Yeah.
I have a reading list devoted to ARK articles. So just look under there and you'll see it.
Cool. Thanks.
I'll go ahead and post it in the main chat as well.
Atlas, can you guys hear me okay? I'm actually outside. I've been shoveling snow. We got dumped on again here.
We can hear you, and we're seeing your paper because Atlas has got it up on the screen, so we can actually see it as you're describing it. All the fancy math.
Yeah, it was a fun one. I'm going to be updating that too. The other night on the pod, I mentioned to Atlas and the team that maybe on the 100th Spark Reward drawing, which is coming up, I might recalculate the probabilities because they're constantly changing depending on the number of eligible wallets. So, yeah. What are we up to? I'm not in front of my computer. I think we were 72, right, Alice? 72 winners last night? Or the 72nd drawing, I mean?
Yeah, it's up to 72. I'm just jealous of you shoveling snow. Here it's 32 degrees Celsius, which is 90 Fahrenheit. 90 Fahrenheit. So yeah. I would love some snow right now.
I had to break out the snowblower. I live in the Lake Tahoe region. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Sierra Nevada mountains, and we've been having back-to-back snowstorms, kind of record-breaking snowpack this year. But we need it. California needs it. Nevada needs it. We've had back-to-back drought years, so this is good to get a really good snowpack in here. Of course, when it all melts, I'm going to need an ARK.
Good thing we got one. Does anybody else have any questions or requests for the calculator, or anything that you would like me to prepare for next week when I come to the podcast? Any questions from anyone?
Brett, I was just wanted to mention to you that I'm just working on a comparison of NDVs, something like a month-by-month comparison, to see how many people are going to drop to negative NDV.
Oh, great. Yeah, I was trying to look in Dune and see there's no export function, I don't think, from the data that's in the Dune analytics now, unless I just don't know how to use it. But I was trying to pull that out. But I'm also, do you know the person that created the Dune?
You mean the one for ARK? You mean Andrea?
Oh, was it Andrea? Yeah. Okay.
Andrea.
Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't sure if the NDV calculations were correct in there, in the Dune analytics. It seemed like if you looked at the deposit minus the withdrawals in general, and then the amount of referral rewards and things, it really wasn't matching up. But those might have been left over from Furio, because I know that he originally calculated everything for Furio and then forked it for ARK. So there might just be some latent formulas in there, but it'd be interesting to look at that.
It looks correct.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, it looks correct. I was going through it in more detail, and certainly the one for a individual wallet was matching up correctly and matching up with my own wallets.
Okay.
So
I was looking at some of the extreme one. Yeah, I was looking at some of the extreme wallets that were in there and just kind of doing it in my head, going, I'm not sure if it's matching up, but is there an export table function in Dune? I know there is on some of them.
I mean, basically, it's using multiple tables. So there's a table for deposits, table for. So this is basically every time there's a deposit, it sort of emits a record that goes into a deposit database, and the same with withdrawal, and the same, with each action. So there's multiple tables, and then linking those tables together gets you the NDV.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll take a look at it again and just see if it makes sense.
Yeah, I'll figure it out for you, though. You can work on something else.
Yeah, there was some that still had a really positive balance, but they had a huge negative NDV, and I was like, that doesn't seem right. But
right.
Cool. But I appreciate you working on that. That's I've always been noodling on that. See how to see what's going to happen. If it's a large number of wallets or a smaller number of wallets, a lot of people are doing redeposits or adding fresh capital, and it'll be interesting to see the behavior and how the game theory is playing out.
Yeah, I mean, all I can do is sort of a type of prediction, but in reality, I can see heaps of bars where people are getting scared to go to 1% and adding more capital.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
No worries.
Yes. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate having you folks here.
My pleasure.
And Tarno was quiet today. I don't think he can talk all the time.
Okay.
But Tarno, if you do have a question and you want to type, you can do that in the main chat, or a suggestion, or anything. You're more welcome to do that if you're not able to speak. And with that, I wanted to go back to something we were talking about, and there was an issue with my microphone. But it's wanting to explain to investors that when you're using a wallet for a long time, you're connecting to some of these protocols and smart contracts, right? And you can forget about them. Maybe a year or two passes, but once that contract has been approved through your wallet, it always has that access. So once in a while, it's good to do a little bit of house cleaning. And if you look here on my screen, you can see that we're at app.unrect.net. And it's as simple as connecting your wallet, say, for example, your MetaMask. And let me see here. It should actually be showing it. Here, let me refresh, because I did check it before, and there was a connection there. There it is, the bottom. So we can see here that BUSD is approved with 1-inch V4 router right here. And I'm hooked into this wallet. This is actually an old wallet. I don't use it. So it's as simple as coming here, connecting your wallet, and you're going to see a list of pretty much everything that you've connected to and still has access. And very simply, you come here and revoke the access. You will have to pay a small fee for doing that, But by disconnecting, that contract will not have access to your wallet again. So a smart price to pay in order to ensure the safety of your funds. So we recommend folks do this. And that's what happened yesterday. We were here on the podcast and someone came in a bit of a panic. Oh, the guys over at the DGEM protocol, they're live on YouTube, and they were collecting their ARK BUSD, and someone stole it from them. And digging, they were able to find that 2 years ago they were invested into a project that failed. However, the developer still had access to that connection through the smart contract, and they were draining. I mean, a couple of them. There was one that was like $200, one like $300. So they had to come and disconnect that smart contract, and that's especially important for new folks. So nothing to do with ARK, but everything to do with staying safe in the DeFi space and protecting your crypto. And if you want to interact again with a contract, let's say you have a bunch of tokens in your MetaMask and they're worthless, but we've seen this happen maybe a year and a half later, 2 years later, something happens, Elon makes a tweet and the thing starts moving again. You could always go and you could reconnect and you could interact again. So you'll pay a small fee for that approval, but you'll have the access, and this will just keep you always knowing what you're interacting with. If you're using a swap, if you are, in a protocol and you're constantly having to interact with it, and there's no need for you to disconnect. So just wanted to point that out for some folks, as it is important. Let's see what else here do we have. Let's do some all aboard. Pretty exciting tonight. We have been wanting to do a weekly written summary of really what's happening at ARK. We talk about it extensively here on the podcast. However, we understand that not everyone has the time or the ability. The time zone may be a factor as well for the folks in Asia and Europe. It's pretty late right now, that they're not able to sit here and participate, and expecting someone to listen to 3 hours is it is not very logical, right? So we've been able to really tap into the work that's being done all the way over in Australia by our friends at Crypto Badgers. That's Max Power and Bizy Dips. Shout out to them. Some way, somehow, they're going through all of the podcast recordings, taking notes, and they're doing a fantastic weekly video. That's a great summary of their notes, as well as they're recapping their week. They're looking at their Excel sheet, their growth, and really giving their point of view as investors of their journey here aboard the ARK, right? So they've been kind enough to give us those notes, and then our very own in-house writer and leader and great friend, Catalyst, has been able to take that data and do a professional newsletter, something that we can send out, or folks that are busy with their lives and they do want to keep, let's say, the pulse and the information and the updates that are happening here. They want to tap into that. They're able to do so in a quick few-minute read, or they can go watch the Crypto Badgers video every week, which I'm a big fan of it. I think they do an incredible job. One of my favorites, without a doubt. So I'm going to turn it over to Coach Brad. He's going to show us these articles, the newsletters here. And go ahead, Mr. Brad. It's all yours.
Thank you very much, Atlas. So the first thing I wanted to address tonight on the All Aboard segment is the daily giveaways. Previously, we have been giving 50 ARK to anyone who wants to participate, but in light of recent events with people creating alt accounts that aren't investors here, that aren't really taking part in the community exercises, to spread awareness of ARK with the ARK competition, and interacting with the Sweep widget. We have decided that if you do not have a Vault account, then you will no longer be eligible to participate, because this is a community-driven program. It's all about the community, and we want to give back to the community, to people who have been invested here with us. Whether you're a new investor or you've invested from the beginning, put your faith in the team and, really done your due diligence and got educated and just been a part of the growth and everything we're doing here on the platform. So we've taken that decision to redraw the ARK competition because it was fairly obvious to us that the winners were not participating in anything other than the competition. They were all alt accounts. They are not invested at ARK, and none of them have been seen in any groups or even in our own group since the draw happened. So we feel that would be giving money back to the wrong people. We would much prefer legit community members to reap the rewards from the competitions, who are participating and help spread awareness. So first thing, we're redrawing the ARK competition. People will need to resubmit their screenshots to Fortunate Enough, our head community manager, and along with those screenshots, send your wallet address so that we can verify that you are in fact invested at ARK. And the Sweep widget is the same parameters. If you're chosen to win and you send your wallet address through, if we discover that because it's very, very easy for us to check. If it's discovered that you do not have an active Vault account, then you will not be eligible for that prize. We want to weed out the people who are not actually invested here and let the actual investors, the actual community members, reap the rewards of the daily giveaways. So if you are, for sure, round of applause for that. It was a great decision by the team. If you are a investor here, whether you're brand new or you've been here since day one, I'm sure that will make you very happy, because we all want to see everybody win. But if you're not taking part in the investment, then we feel you shouldn't be included in the daily rewards. So going forward, those are the new parameters that will be expressed in the posts from now on, and excuse me, and that will be going out tonight with the new Sweep widget. So that was the first thing that we wanted to go over, and look forward to seeing some actual community members winning, which is much better for everyone, in my opinion. So the Sweep widget for today has ended. However, I'll just walk through how you would participate on any given day. It will be reposted by the end of the podcast. It will be pinned in the main chat. It will also be the announcement channel, and it will be dropped throughout the day into the main chat, so that everybody has ample opportunity to interact with it. We do ask that people take 2 minutes of their day just to complete the tasks. Excuse me. It helps the content creators that are taking time out of their day to help spread awareness and widen that net for ARK. And it helps every single community member involved. And it also gives you the opportunity to win that 50 to 100 BUSD worth of ARK on a daily basis. So we do ask people to, if you haven't already, please start to engage with that. Work it into your daily routine at some point, maybe in the morning when you're having your coffee, on your break at work, or even here while you're watching the podcast, listening to the podcast with us in the evening. So thank you very much. And we look forward to seeing that community engagement rise.
Thank you, Coach Brad. I wanted to see if Donatello was available, because we continue to have some issues with the Twitter post part of the Sweep widget. And we were at first assuming that it was something we were doing on our end, but it seems like it's also an issue where the user, in the way they're conducting the task, are having an error. So Donatello, are you available right now?
Yeah, I'm good. I can talk about
If
it.
you could
I
show us
believe
that.
it worked today. We followed Donatello's instructions. I'll let him go over it because he's certainly, very clued up with this. But I haven't had anybody tell me today that it didn't work, and I actually did it myself, and it did retweet. So, but if you'd like to walk us through, Donatello, that would be great.
Yeah, we want to do that since it's recorded, and if anybody's having an issue, we can go ahead and send that over. So for the purposes of just having that, here as a tool to send out to people when the admins are getting, messages, hey, I'm having an issue with the Twitter part, it'd be great to have that. Just thank you.
Okay, let me share my screen. All right. So the Suite widget, if you're participating in, of course you have to make sure you log in. I'm pretty sure majority of you already know how to log into Suite widget because they've been doing it for a while now. But for the Twitter feature, you also have to make sure you're logged into Twitter. So let's do that. And then you'll hit this button right here, this blue button. It'll pop up a window. Of course, you have to make sure you're logged in, and you have to also authorize and sign in. But if it doesn't pop up, they have this right here too. So you'll click that and the same thing will pop up. But let me sign in and authorize myself. So it'll come in this window, and you're just gonna type in your info, and then let me log in really quick. And then once you sign into Twitter, it's gonna pop up authorize app. So you want to make sure you authorize. You only have to authorize once. Once you authorize, you're authorized for Suite widget to do that action for you. So once that's done, I can come back and once you do it once and you don't have to do it again. As long as you're in that same browser and you're still logged into Twitter, you don't have to worry about doing that over again. But if you go on a different browser and you're not logged into Twitter, then you'll still have to go through that same process. So when you come here, you hit the retweet button. And when you hit it, it does that action. And I can go to Twitter really quick and show you that it has done it. And this is the retweet that I did. So it shows it right there. This is the retweet, and that came from this. So as long as you have this blue check mark, it shows that you have done that action. So there's no need to going back and checking. It just automatically does do it. You don't have to worry about it. And it automatically records it through the analytics. And then it'll also show up right here under your profile. And it's really simple. It's not nothing complicated. As long as you go through them processes and them steps, then you should have no issue. Another thing, I know a lot of people were talking about the VPN situation. The way of getting around the VPN situation is using either Google Chrome or Brave browser. Safari, I tried it with Safari earlier, and it was giving me that VPN issue. So if you use Brave or you use Google Chrome, you shouldn't have that issue. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much, Donatello. We're going to head and make a clip of that from tonight's podcast. So if anybody's having any issues, we have the solution. And thank you. You did it before for us when we were first having that issue. And man, keep going. We're very proud of the work you're doing. A daily video every single day about ARK, and you are on fire, sir. A star rising here. We're all witnessing it. It's amazing. So with that, I'll turn it back to you, Coach Brad. What do we got cooking here for the All Aboard?
Thank you, sir. And thank you, Donatello, for that walkthrough. It's certainly helpful on our end. That should be the end of the Twitter issue. Thank you very much, sir. So for tonight, we have we have two pieces of content. I would say if we have time, but as Atlas always says, nobody here is in a rush. And they are, as Atlas mentioned earlier, Catalyst has started to write a weekly report of what is happening in ARK, and it is, it's very, very helpful for the people that don't have a couple of hours a night, or over the course of the week, quite a lot of hours to sit down and watch every podcast, but they still want the updates and the alpha of what's happening. So thanks to Bizy Dips and Max Power, they've been taking note of everything that's happened, making videos, and Catalyst is putting that into medium form. So now we have the video format and the written format, which is fantastic. Catalyst, are you with us, sir? Are you able to speak? Oh, Catalyst is actually not with us anymore. No problem at all. Okay, so I will go over that Medium article. And then we also have a video from Crypto Fergie. We have got two community members. You've just heard from Donatello and Crypto Fergie, and they're just pumping out content, on the daily, pretty much. I mean, Donatello is actually every single day. Crypto Fergie is just behind him with about 4 to 5 videos a week. And, we really want to give the spotlight to the people that are really taking the time and putting the effort in to create this content and help spread the awareness for ARK. And we want to, help pump that algorithm for them and just do what we can on our end. So we're going to go over the Medium article first, and then we are going to watch Crypto Fergie's newest video. Oh, wait, I'm not sharing my screen. That might help. Okay, here we go. Right, so this is Catalyst's article. If you haven't already, please go over and follow him. He's got some amazing stuff, especially his ARK stuff. It's just, he's a very accomplished writer, and I always look forward to when Catalyst drops something new. So this week in Arkfi, week ending February 26, 2003. Dear Arkfi investors, welcome to the latest edition of This Week in Arkfi, our weekly newsletter, where we bring you the latest updates from the Arkfi team. This week has been an exciting one for us as we continue to push forward with our mission of democratizing access to financial services and empowering users to take control of their money. That caught me off guard there. In addition, we'll be highlighting some key developments from the past week, including updates to our protocol, new features on our UI, major alpha, promotional activity, and other important announcements for our community. We'll also be providing a weekly summary of key performance metrics of the Arkfi protocol. As always, we value your feedback and input as we work to build a better financial system for all. We hope you find this newsletter informative and engaging, and we look forward to your continued support as we strive to create a more equitable and inclusive financial ecosystem. Best regards, Arkfi team. We make crypto passive income easy. Let's go. Okay, to this week's updates. Integrated calculator launch. I think this is a big one for everyone. I've had a few meetings this week with investors, and one of the things they all want to go over is this the new calculator. A lot of people love Kelly's original calculator, and this in-dApp one is a little bit more user friendly for some people I've found, but either or. Kelly's tends to be for the more advanced people, and this is bit more for the average Joe, new investors, but it's absolutely fantastic. The integrated calculator has officially launched and can be accessed from the drop-down menu of the dApp. Providing an integrated calculator in the dApp is a first in this space. Yes, sir, it certainly is. Most projects rely on community members doing these things, and that's great to see. But when you have people like Kelly and Rebecca on the team, you always know you're going to have great results with these stuff, because they are just fantastic at these calculators. Features of the calculator include the ability to input your wallet and identify when your NDV will drop below zero. See the effect of bringing in new capital and get predictive stats on potential future earnings. Yeah, the 1% drop feature, it's not the 1% drop feature, it's a daily table of your entire investment, and it is absolutely fantastic to be able to pinpoint, roughly to the day where you're going to drop down and where you would need to invest fresh capital. It's a fantastic feature. It really, really is. Kelly and Rebecca Snook talked about the new calculators and provided a walkthrough of features. See podcast episode 114 in the official ARK Telegram to see the walkthrough. That's really important as well. And I believe that this is a clickable link to that podcast, which is, ingenious idea to add that in as well. We've all seen this. This is how the calculator looks in the DAP. It starts with a current NDV of 10 and a current balance. When you come into here, or at any point during using this, you can just click the reset options and then start from scratch. One thing that people were saying is, it's 10 off. Well, that's why. If you want to start from scratch, as in a blank slate, or even if you want to re-strategize, all you do is click reset options. It's really, really handy. Great little tool there. Update to manual allocation system. I mean, this article already is great, because you can see this is where all the big chunks of alpha are, and it's all condensed into one readable article. Is fantastic. The manual allocation system has been updated. You can now save your settings for each wallet to make things easier each time you connect. You can also see how the settings will affect your future CWR for the next 7 days, which, if you haven't already seen this, guys, you must have. Unless you're on auto allocation, you would have seen this. This is a fantastic update from Alex, I believe, our front end dev. Just great work. The mobile web app update. Participants in the daily live podcast got to see a preview of the forthcoming mobile web app and its functionality. There will be a revamp of the website and the DAP to be in line with the mobile app new PWA, website landing page and DAP design. Cosmetic changes on the site, but functionality is the same. The target is to roll out the PWA by the end of March. I mean, I don't think we need to talk too much about this. Everybody knows this is going to be an absolute game changer. Cannot wait for this. Huge when we're talking about mass adoption. Absolutely huge. Onboarding flows. The team is working on onboarding flows from fiat to initial investment, including best practices for new people coming into the game. There may potentially be a full prospecting conversion system. Perhaps Zoom calls where new people can be talked through how to set up a wallet and get set up on BSC and involved in ARK. That is a very rare mistake from Catalyst there. Major alpha dropped. Atlas reiterated that there is a lot that the team has been working on in the background in terms of utility that they are yet to announce to innovate partnerships and products to bring outside revenue streams into the project. Main alpha is the ARK team will be launching their own layer 1 blockchain. ARKfi holders may get preferential access to this launch. I think NFT holders is gonna possibly be a big part of this as well. Other promotion. The team did an AMA with Tulip DAO. Atlas will defend his poker title at the next Pillars Poker Party. The event will be held Saturday, 4th of March. See the announcements for more. This has been pushed back, I believe, Atlas, to the 11th. At the time of writing, that was not announced.
That's correct.
At the time of writing, this was not announced, but this has been pushed back a week by the guys over at the Pillars. So we very much look forward to that. And if you don't want to play poker, it's absolutely fine. But support the ARK platform. The NFTs are only $5 each, and there is no purchase limit to any one wallet. The previous event was a 5 NFT per wallet purchase, but that has been lifted, so you can buy as many as you want to support Atlas, at the poker table, talking about ARK, interacting with these other community members. I believe that there will be your Bonks there, who's quite a well-known YouTuber, so it's a fantastic opportunity for Atlas to go and do what he does best and talk about ARK and educate people and just spread the net, as we always say. And as this says, defend his poker title. So we're looking forward to that. And they're having more people from the communities that participate on the poker table this time. So if you are like me or you are like Brandon and you love playing poker and you'd like to be a part of that, then the more $5 NFTs you buy, the more chance you have of actually sitting at that table. And then the other option, apart from Atlas himself, if you win and you don't want to play poker, you can designate someone to play for you, whether it be me or Brandon or, somebody else that really enjoys playing poker. Atlas does have to play, but, you could be sitting there next to him on the poker table with the other head honchos of the other project and, be a real part of what's going to be a fantastic event. So you can purchase your NFT tickets now for the Pillar Poker's party. This time, this is talking about what I just said, yeah. So this time, 5 winners from the communities will be available to win and play in the game. NFTs are on sale for $5 each, and there's a link over to where you connect your wallet and purchase the NFT. All right, key metrics. This is what I wanted Catalyst here for, because he is the analytics guy, but this is something that he keeps track of all the time, and it's fairly self-explanatory. It's just the price, liquidity, total vault accounts, market cap, ILC reserves, vault balance, Spark rewards paid out. I mean, you can see. I mean, look at these numbers. It's 11,000 that week. That's a 19.4% increase there. Absolutely found that fantastic. This is obviously for the vault. And then you have the foundation and the legacy NFTs. The bond price for the foundation has stayed very stable over the course of the launch. It's sitting at $4.97. I don't actually know what it's at now. I don't check that on a daily basis, but I'm sure it's probably the same price. Excuse me. We now have over $250,000 staked in the foundation. I think people have, really clued up to not only is it a fantastic investment in its own right, paying out 100% APY over the course of the year, but it also gives you that first downline and gives you access to the Spark reward, which, it's paid out over $70,000, and now I think when I looked earlier, I think it's $74,000 now. After tonight, it'll be probably closer to $76,000, and it is just an absolute gem. To have a wallet in the system and not be eligible for that. Just my humble opinion, but this is something that you definitely want to be involved in. It is completely game changing if you win that. It doesn't matter where you are in the system. If you're, if you're a whale with a max deposit, or if you're someone that's just come in testing the water, or perhaps you can't afford a big investment, but you've put the minimum into ARK, knowing that over time with compound interest, it can grow into something absolutely fantastic. Doesn't matter where you are in the system, winning the Spark reward is just nitro mode, as Atlas likes to say. And it's also a fantastic thing that it adds to your NDV, and it keeps you at 2% for even longer, so it is a complete no-brainer in my opinion. Talking about no-brainers, legacy NFTs, I think that this is one of the best parts of the system. I absolutely love being a legacy NFT holder. You get the DAO votes, you get to work closer with the team through the DAO. You get access to your downlines, you get the Spark rewards eligibility, you get the compounding parameters increased, and you get a daily ROI. And, I know from my own NFT that has been quite substantial so far already. I switched from a silver to a gold during Catalyst's first presentation that was exclusively about the NFTs, and so I can't, when you upgrade, obviously if I had the gold from the beginning, then my payout would have been higher because the payout for each NFT is more, but so I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it's close to 25% of the cost of the NFT, which is, that's insane. We're not even 3 months in. It's just absolutely fantastic. Complete, in my opinion, no-brainer again. Not for everyone. Everyone's goals within the system are different, and, how much capital you have to invest is also different for each individual. But if you're on the fence with this, go and read Catalyst's article about the legacy NFTs, and, you'll fall off the fence. I'm telling you, you'll be rushing to buy one. Like, we actually had a number of people during that podcast rush out. Some people just literally opened the door and ran to go and buy one, myself included, but I stayed in the podcast. So the ILC reserves continue to grow with an 8.3 increase in reserves over the past week, which is just absolutely fantastic to see. DEX liquidity crossed the 800,000 threshold this week, and total Spark rewards paid out surpassed $70,000, with multiple ATH being set in the daily prize pools. I think we definitely had 3 all-time highs, one after the other. It might have been 4, but we definitely had 3, which is great to see. That Spark rewards just nitro mode. It's insane. It really, really is, and I can't wait for tonight to see where it's at. Its growth like this that provides investors added confidence in our platform stability and security. 100%. Absolutely, totally agree. That's it for this week's updates. As always, we appreciate your feedback and look forward to continuing to improve and grow the Arkfi system. Excellent stuff. He's put the links in for the website, white paper, Telegram, Discord, and Twitter. All very useful stuff. It's got his disclaimer there. And again, I always talk about these every time we present a Medium article. Arkfi, absolutely essential. We want to grow our presence on the Medium platform. So we ask everyone to use that tag. And then the rest of the tags are just which target audience you're trying to hit. Catalyst knows what he's doing far more than I do. He's one of the people that I've learned from. Arkfi, ARK, DeFi, passive income, decentralized finance, all completely relative to the people that this article is for. So absolutely fantastic. I look forward to seeing one of these each week, hopefully. It's great. Absolutely brilliant. I talked about a few things in there, but you could read this. I think it's a 4-minute read. 4 minutes of your day to get all of that alpha and just keep up to date with everything that's happening with ARK. Fantastic. You could send this to anyone and, they'd understand it. It's very well written. great stuff, Catalyst. Thank you very much, sir. And look forward to next week's update.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're with us. I wanted to see. I did check to see if you were with us when I started. I was going to ask you to read it as it is your content. I hope I did it justice. But
you certainly did. And I just got on about 5 minutes ago, so I heard you were in the middle of it talking about legacy NFTs when I jumped back on.
Okay.
So, well done, sir.
Thank you very much.
A couple of questions, and if this has already been talked about, I apologize, but you had asked how many all-time highs we had last week, and it was 4. So you were correct there. Another little milestone regarding the legacy NFTs, and again, if this has already been mentioned, I apologize. We crossed over $90,000 tonight in legacy NFT rewards that have been dispersed to legacy NFT holders. So
let's get this crypto.
Yes, sir. And another gold was sold since yesterday's pod. Another gold was minted, I should say. So
bullish.
We're seeing growth with the minting of the NFTs, and all good stuff. And did since I jumped on kind of late, did you thank the Crypto Badgers and Buy Z Dips for? Are you aware that they're providing show notes to me, and then I'm converting their show notes that they
multiple
use?
Times, sir? Yes, sir,
okay,
for
great,
sure.
Great.
Yeah, credit where it's due, of course. Atlas mentioned it, and then I reiterated it when I started, for sure. They're doing the video format, providing you with the notes, and you're putting it into writing format, which is great because we work together here. We're a team, a family, and that's what it's all about. So great stuff to see that you're working with those guys, and no one does it better when it comes to putting it on paper.
And ideally, to add to that, we also want to include a link to the Crypto Badgers videos, as we're very proud of the work they're doing, and they're providing us all this information. I think it's also another format that's a condensed version of everything that we do here in the podcast, and also seeing their journey from such a professional point of view. So we're going to be including that too with these weekly updates. So they can read it, they can look at the video. I mean, no excuses why somebody can't have the latest up-to-date information here on the ARK. Let's get this crypto.
That is a great idea, Atlas.
Yeah, absolutely agree, Atlas. Question, where would you like the link? Like at the end of the article, or down where the other Arkfi links are? Or I think it's an excellent idea, and I'm all, no hesitation.
Yeah, probably right there on top of the ARK official links. Maybe if we do like a little box and, hey, come and check out the weekly video. We'll come up with the right text and copy for it, but that it's there for everyone to go and check out, because it is fantastic material as well.
Let me ask you this: Medium actually allows me to insert embed code, so I could put the embed
nice.
code to their video.
Let's go.
I've never done this, but I think you can certainly do that. So would you prefer that, or would you prefer a link?
I would prefer that. I think to put it in there and have both formats, and maybe on the other side, they could also put into their videos, hey, by the way, here's a written summary if you want to read it too. So it's crossing each other, right? So that folks are able to tap into both the video and the written summary, the newsletter.
Great idea. Yeah, I'll go back and edit these two newsletters that I've done and link back to their videos that correspond to the dates. And then we'll just go and we'll continue to do that going forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. We're extremely happy as always. Your content, man. You are so talented. You understand ARK inside out, and you convey it in such a manner that it's pleasant and it's interesting to read. Never a dull moment with Mr. Catalyst.
Thank
For
you, sir.
sure. And Catalyst, while you're editing this very quickly, this date has changed. It changed after you published this, but if you are going to
Yes.
edit it, just change that to the 11th, just so that people
Yes, sir.
are. Yeah, brilliant, excellent.
Yes, thank you.
Excellent stuff. No, thank you, and I look forward to you presenting next week's one. I think you'll do a better job than me. But good stuff. Look forward to it. Great work, sir. Great work. Has anybody got any questions on that article? Any comments? Any suggestions? It's a Medium article, so usually, Catalyst, I would ask you what you think of it, but that might be a bit redundant.
Well,
We're definitely putting. Go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
So like this is only the second one, and it's kind of a work in progress. I created a template now, so it's all about efficiency. I don't know. Did you even cover the first one, or probably not? Just this newsletter.
I have not covered your previous newsletter, no, but perhaps that's something we could do tomorrow.
No, there's no reason to, because those updates are now 2 weeks old, right? So, unless you want to, I'm not going to tell you how to do that on a board, all board sessions.
I just had an idea, and while we have Kelly here in the room, I'd love to see if maybe we can put her quote from the last time she was here live with us, and she said something like, ARK is what everyone wishes drip could be, or something like that. Do you recall?
Yeah, something like that.
Do you give us permission?
Yes. You have my permission.
You heard it here, folks. And now it'll be published. Yes.
So, Alice, you would like Kelly's quote in here in the newsletter somewhere?
Yes, I actually have.
In every one. Put it in every single one.
No. But we have a written version that she shared in her ARK Rocket Science group.
Atlas, sorry to interrupt you. Your mic's doing the that thing again.
Okay, thank you, sir. Let me just take a second.
You can just move your phone farther away from your mic. It should be fine.
No. What happens is sometimes my default microphone gets activated on the laptop instead of the actual microphone. So it's just a quick second to reset the software that does that. But we'll dig to that because we do have it in writing as well. I think that's a brilliant piece, a great endorsement here for the ARK. Continue, gentlemen. I interrupted y'all.
Oh, I was just saying that, I've got it pretty dialed in now with this second one, and the third one will be even more efficiently written. But yeah, I'm open. The last line that Coach Brad read was, asking readers to give suggestions. So that is 100% true. Tell me what you want to see in the newsletters. I mean, I do get the show notes from the Crypto Badgers, and thank you if either any of those guys are on. Thank you. But yeah, there's like a section. I added the metrics, the KPIs. I think that whatever anyone wants to see in there, I'll just add it to my template going forward.
Yes, sir. And I really liked Fleming's article that we went over. Just blown away by it. Great endorsement. I like the way he communicated as well. Being a writer for Cryptozoa, would there be conflict of interest of that being published here, also in the ARK publication? Would there be conflict of interest, or no?
No, I don't believe so. However, Medium only allows a writer to publish to one publication. So if Fleming has already published his article, I mean, he can change it and publish it to the ARK publication,
Okay.
but he can't have it published in more than one publication. That's my understanding of how Medium works.
Okay. Maybe we'll talk to him. I think, Brett, you said you were talking to him today. Is that correct?
I actually talked to him today.
Oh, you talked to him
No, I
too?
didn't.
Okay.
You're talking about Fleming? No, I saw he was on Cryptozoa, the Arkfi channel. I just liked his post because he posted his article in there for people to clap up.
Perfect.
Yeah, if it's just posted, if he just posted a link to it and it's only on his Medium page, then he can submit it to the Arkfi publication.
Okay.
If he wants to. He actually DM'd me today, and he listened to the recording of last night's pod because, as you recall, he was asleep and he couldn't be on the pod last night in person, and he got a big kick out of the pod. I don't know if he's listened to a pod before, and he had some questions. He said it was fantastic, and he listened to the whole thing because he made a comment about me being on the treadmill at the time.
All 4 hours? It was a long one last night.
Yeah, and then he was asking how I got involved with you guys, and how I learned about art. Sorry about that.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah. So I asked.
I said something like fire up the jet and the chopper. Let's get him. Let's get him over here.
Don't pick him up. Yeah.
That was funny. That was really funny. I hope you got a kick out of that. So yeah, we'll talk to him and see if maybe he does some adjustments, and maybe you could curate some of these other writers that are talking about ARK, and if you see something that's really impressive and something we like, then maybe we ask them, we give them an invitation. Hey, do you mind? Would you like if we publish you on the official ARK publication? Get them some exposure as well, as we understand that we're going to need a bigger boat. There's a whole new audience coming here, and it'd be great for them.
I will do, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah. We want this publication to be a great place for our investors to really have as much content as possible as they're doing their due diligence, and they're seeing these great writers convey their experience and their knowledge. So something to definitely show off, and I think it's going to be essential as we grow, and we understand there's going to be people that are coming from the real world, and they're like, this is too good to be true. This is crazy. How is something like this even possible? So the more literature, the more education and publishings that we have, I think it just adds a lot more material for folks to dissect as they make a decision.
Yes, sir. And that's taken a page directly out of Patrick Cryptozoa's playbook. He opened up his own Cryptozoa publication to anybody on his team that wanted to write and submit an article. And the incentive, of course, was that he's got 5,000 subscribers to his publication. So any writer that would submit an article automatically had an audience for their publication or for their article.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Well, it's a winning formula. No doubt about it. So great to have you, and we've always said it's a blessing to have you and Patrick on board. You've shown us how it's done, and inspired so many here within our community to get involved. I mean, even Chris Dugan wrote an article on Medium about ARK. I mean, there's been so many first-time writers that have been inspired. So we'll throw Chris Dugan's up in here as well. We'll make this a really a great place for all that content for everyone.
I think that's a great idea. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I think you're right as well, Catalyst. It appears that if you have a story in another publication, you can't put it in, you can't have it in two. I was just looking to see if I could put one of mine into the ARK one, but it seems like you can only have it in one publication at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but with the minor editing, it seems to make sense that if you edit it, it's not the same article per se, right? It's a fresh new article, and then you can put it where you want.
Yeah, that is a great workaround.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Do we have any more?
Oh, I don't know if it's need to wait a second. I had a question for Kelly. It's actually a request. I know Rebecca's not here. It's about Rebecca's calculator. You mind if I share something with you, Kelly?
Go for it.
So I use the calculator a lot. I think it's probably one of the best tools because it's easy and it's accessible, and you could run a lot of scenarios quick, fast, in a hurry. And one thing that I'd like to see, if there's enough interest on the calculator, would be the actual amount that you get paid, the withdrawal, the claim amount. So based off the CWR, so if you put in a CWR of a 1.5, the column would be that whatever the amount that you claim, that percentage, it would show. Right now, you have to go in there and divide, or by the percentage of your CWR to find out what you actually claimed, what you actually netted for that day on that end. There's not a column for that.
And my calculator shows the one on the day. I don't know about Rebecca's.
I was referring to Rebecca's. The web-based one. I know she's not here.
I think it does show you that.
Maybe whoever's driving what we're seeing on the screen could try.
It does. It shows you how much you withdraw every day, but not a percentage because you're setting your CWR with the withdrawal percentage.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Brett. So that way, because right now, just say if you do a 60-40, it's going to show you the amount you make for that day, but you're going to have to divide, that the 40% of that amount to figure out what you actually made.
That's the net. Nope. The withdrawn is what goes in your wallet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yep. The column that says withdrawn ARK and withdrawn dollars, that's based on your CWR.
Whoa, I haven't seen the mobile version of this. Wow.
That's not the total 2%?
No, there's two columns at the right that are in the table. Well, on mobile, I'm not sure.
There is.
But anyway, on the desktop, it says withdrawn ARK and withdrawn in dollars. And those are based on your CWR.
On one day or like total so far?
No, on the day that you're you're asking if it's cumulative or not?
Yeah, like can he see how much is going into his wallet in that day? Oh, I see. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be every day. I think it's 2.72. Yeah, it's a daily. It's how much daily you've withdrawn.
It is indeed
allocated. Oh, it's cumulative though, I think. Hold on. Yeah, it's cumulative. But it's that to me makes sense.
So day one would have been $20, day two, 26. So if you wanted to work out what you earned that day, you would just need to take this value from this value to see your daily, which is, really simple. It's not, you don't even need a calculator for it.
I'll have to blow that up on my desktop then. I've been using it on my phone, and maybe that's not scrolling all the way over enough or something.
Let me put it Coach Brad.
You just have to scroll to the right.
Calculator.
Yell it out. Let's do it on the desktop.
But he does it on his mobile. That's what I'm telling him. On mobile, you just scroll to the right like that, and it shows you. The desktop version is definitely, better to show the community. But for Shannon personally, that's all you do. You just, because this box, I know what you're saying. This box looks like it doesn't move on the mobile version, but it does. You just scroll to the right, and then all the information is there. But let the show.
Were the headers going to go over too, or I thought were the column headers going over properly?
The
Coach Brad, if
column
you could turn off the
headers
screen.
don't move.
Coach Brad, if you could turn off the screen for a second. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Let me see if you can you see mine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over to the calc. 1 second. Because I usually have one here already. There it is. Load. Nope. Sorry, folks. We'll just do it. There it is. Okay, this is with a 250 current balance.
Oh yeah, withdrawn ARK, withdrawn dollars. I see.
There we go. Let's just
Maybe
reset it completely. And
maybe she needs to make it so that on the mobile the column headers also scroll. Do they scroll over to the right?
I think there's not enough room on the mobile. I don't think it's anything to do with what Rebecca's done. There's just not enough, physical space. So it's like the words are stacked on top of each other. I believe it's the only way it could be displayed.
Okay. So the table just doesn't really lend itself so much to displaying it on the mobile, maybe.
Yeah, it's just a spacing issue, but that's, it's still perfectly readable. I wouldn't say there's any problem with it at all.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
I'm pulling it up now just to gotta make sure and see. But yeah, if it's what y'all are talking, then it's definitely answered my question for sure.
Can you see the screen right now? Can you see what he's showing? Because it does say ARK withdrawn and dollars value withdrawn, and it's. Oh yeah, you're right though. It is cumulative, isn't it? I should ask her because she asked me for the same thing actually in my calculator. It's funny that she didn't put that in hers. She really wanted to see how much she was actually banking each day. So, or is it? Oh, maybe that is growing that fast. Is it just growing that fast, or is it cumulative?
No, it's cumulative.
Yeah, it's cumulative. Okay.
Yeah, it's a cumulative.
But to find out your daily value, you would just take, that daily value and subtract the day before from it to get that day.
But you'd like ideally you'd want to just be able to have it at a glance.
Yeah.
I'll share that with her.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all going through that. It's just a real handy tool. It's just so easy to explain. And if you're in the middle of sharing ARK with somebody and they want to just hypothetically see what it would look like with 100 ARK or 500 ARK, it's just kind of really easy to just lay out there and just kind of get a good zoom out of what that strategy might look like. So great tool.
Oh, you know what we're doing, Florida Realtor, on the landing page? We're going to do a simplified one where you just take the day slider and you just put a value in and it shows you how much you get out on that day. So.
Oh man, that's sweet. Wow.
Yeah. So you won't have this is the detail, and then the other one has all the detail behind it, but all you see is how much you've, withdrawn over time. So basically like the net result when you move the slider, but Alex is working on that right now.
And it's using the current ARK price, obviously, right? That's just
Yeah. There won't be any real. You won't connect a wallet. It's just a simulator. So all you'll do is just put in, hey, I'm going to put in $1,000, and then you move the slider and you see over, how many days what the net value is.
Speaking of putting in $1,000, do you have or anything new from Ultimo as far as getting that fiat on-ramp? Is that looking like it's going to be pushed out with the mobile app goes or before? Any update on that?
Yeah, they don't. They haven't reached out to us regarding that, and I know that they were working on it still with the bank.
I have a question about the Ultimo thing. I followed the link and I went to Ultimo and I signed up and I tried to use the referral for ARK so that
hmm
the ARK project would get the referral, and I just could not get that to work. Every time I went to the registration page, I lost the referral link. So I couldn't figure out how to get the referral in there.
Okay. Yeah, we can contact DS if you signed up and got your card.
You
Then
have
we
to put
can
the
contact
referral
DS.
code in the form. There's a form
Mm-hmm.
where you're starting to fill out the information, and you put in the Arkfi code in that form. There's a box for that, if I recall correctly.
Okay, because I was filling stuff out and I just couldn't see it anywhere, but maybe I just missed it. I'll check it out again.
Anything else calculator based anybody wants to ask while we've got Kelly with us?
I have a question in relation to the calculator. I was playing around with it yesterday, and I was trying to figure out the best way to keep the 2% for as long as possible. And I guess I'd need some advice as to what you think is the best way to keep the 2% as long as possible, because it seemed to go to 1% after a while, and then I put in all different figures and try to make it last longer, but it just didn't go much longer than what it was. So, got any advice on that?
Well, the 2% is based on your. Do you want to go ahead, Kelly?
No, go ahead. You take it. It's not really a calculator question. I will put in the calculator the ability to redeposit, so that is a way to make it last a bit longer. But go ahead, Coach.
Thank you, Kelly. The 2% Joker is based on your NDV. So if your NDV is positive, then you get paid 2% a day, and if it's negative, it's 1%. And the way to keep your NDV positive is to either add fresh capital to the system, redeposit your earned ARK, or gain referral rewards. So those are the only. I mean, you can also win the Spark reward, but that is obviously a luck-based lottery system, so that's not something that you should rely on for your NDV being positive. But what the calculator does do, excuse me, is it pinpoints when you're going to drop from 2% to 1%. So it allows you to create a strategy where you see, okay, X amount of days have passed and I'm going to drop to the 1%. So this is the window that I need to reinvest into my investment to keep myself at the 1%, 2% for longer. And then you'll see when you drop to the 1% again, and it allows you to create a strategy where you know which at what time you need to reinvest. Obviously, if you're gaining referral rewards, then that's obviously a great way to keep your NDV positive as well. But if you're just a solo investor, then that is certainly the strategy that you want to take to keep yourself in the positive NDV.
That sounds really good. What about knowing how much you would need to reinvest to keep it above the 2? Like, is there a percentage of your total invested amount that you've got sitting there at the time? Is it like 10% or 20% to keep it going, or is it just like, is there a minimum? Or
no, it would depend on your daily payout at the time. So, for example, if you were withdrawing, let's say you're on a 50-50 and you're earning 10 ARK a day, and you're withdrawing 50% of that, which would be 5 ARK a day, you would need to, have put more in than you were withdrawing to keep it in the positive. So it totally depends on your daily earnings at the time, but there's no fixed amount or percentage amount that you need to reinvest. So the more you reinvest, the longer that you will be at the 2%. And just be aware that there is a maximum deposit of 4,000 ARK for any single wallet in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brad, what I would add to that too is if you're using the redeposit on your withdrawal part of it, the only part that you're getting taken away from your NDV during that time is basically the taxes, because it's a claim and then a deposit. And so those taxes are taken out of that equation and will still come off of your NDV. But, other than that, what you're putting back in that deposit goes to keep your NDV basically in the same spot, just down a little. It's going to come down every day, if not just, by the difference in the taxes. But it's designed that way. Fresh capital is actually the only way that you'll actually increase the amount. Like if you were to put in an extra $100 a week worth, that'll actually go to, increase your NDV. But eventually all of us will be at 1% and longing for those days where we were at 2 or starting new wallets so we can get 2 again.
Thank you very much.
No problem, Joker. Has anybody else got any questions, calculator based or just ARK based?
The Tardo calculator shows that reinvestment schedule pretty well. Did we mention
it? Does. It does. Yeah, it is. Excuse me. It really does.
Please do get that to him.
No problem.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great tool for exactly that. That's one of the things I like about that calculator.
Yeah, it is a very good tool. Joker, as soon as I've finished tonight's presentation, I will send that over to you. I just need to sieve through some DMs with Tamo to actually get that up, but I'll write a note quickly to make sure I do that.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll take your time doing it because I won't be able to get to see it for at least another 3 days because, not bragging, but, I'm going on a cruise for 3 days. So, and there's not internet on the boat because, just a rip-off. So I'll have a break from everything for 3 days.
You're going on a big boat.
Yeah, pretty big boat. Not as big as the ARK. It's the Carnival Luminosa, leaving out of Brisbane in about 4 hours. So I'm just about ready to go.
Wow.
Joker, if you're going on a non Wi-Fi cruise, or if you're just not using the Wi-Fi, don't forget to set your auto allocation so that you don't miss any of your days.
Yep, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey guys, can I raise 3 things?
Yes, sir. Please go right ahead.
Okay, first of all, King Joker, be careful, don't get COVID. Nice to hear a fellow Aussie.
I'll try my best.
Yeah. With the Spark prize, just curious where the funds come from for that. And the last question was something else that's struggling now. I think I'll sit with that.
All right. We'll let the architect break it down.
Sure. Yeah. So, are you familiar with the round robin reward system?
A little bit.
Okay. So when anyone compounds, there's a 5% of their compound works upline in a round robin system. So it goes upline 15 levels before returning back to basically the first level. And when it moves up through those 15 levels, if there's an unqualified wallet that doesn't hold enough bond or hold a legacy NFT at a certain level to capture that reward, then that compound reward, that 5%, goes to the Guardian wallet. basically forfeited to the Guardian wallet. If you have a wallet that's below the Guardian, at least less than 15 levels, then every level above the Guardian, those compound rewards are forfeited to the Guardian as well. And then every 24 hours, we take 50% of those 5% compounds that were captured by the Guardian, and those go into the Spark prize pool.
Okay, that sounds awesome. How do you get into this Guardian, or not Guardian, but how do you get into this thing where you could capture some of those rewards? Is that the NFT holders, or?
So, well, yeah, you can capture the 5% rewards if you have referrals in your downline levels. But to qualify for the Spark, you need to hold either a legacy NFT or at least $250 worth of bond in the foundation contract.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a lossless lottery system almost, because all of those tokens that are hitting the Guardian wallet, those are staying in the tax vault. And then the person who wins the Spark prize, they're going, from the tax vault back into the tax vault because they're earning them into their principal balance, but that's staying locked up. And so it's not ARK that's being paid to a wallet or going outside the system, I should say. Everything stays into the ARK vault. So it's a neat way for people to win a really large prize, but it doesn't hurt the protocol in the sense that those tokens aren't being taken out of the tax vault and put into a wallet for sale. So they have to be earned back out. And those Spark rewards are also paid as referral rewards, so they positively impact your NDV, which keeps you at the 2% longer.
That's awesome. All right, I remembered the last question. Earlier, was you guys were talking about unwrecked, and I was sort of researching, and I couldn't find one where you could renege a whole bunch of contracts at once, and I'm still trying to find something that does that. Instead of paying gas for each and every contract you're trying to sort of renege on, have you guys ever heard of one where it's like multiple that just does all of them with one gas fee? You know what I mean? Goes through the whole list of all these contracts you're connected to and just goes.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Someone's got to make that. That'd be awesome.
That's where you do it.
It can be done really. It's a network function, so you're literally having to write to the blockchain that you're revoking the allowance that a certain contract has to funds in your wallet. So that has to be done on a contract by contract basis. It's not a particular token. You might have 15 different smart contracts that have an allowance on your BUSD, for example. So it has to be done on a contract by contract basis. It's not one-stop shopping, unfortunately.
I wish it was, man. I've got like at least 30.
Yeah. So you've been you've been a bad little degen. It sounds like.
Sir, yes, sir.
But I don't. No judgment. But the transaction itself, it's similar to an approval transaction, which obviously you've done several of those, and they work out to be between about 6 and 11 cents worth of BNB per contract. So not a big deal, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. It'll be a bunch of transactions for you to go ahead.
Tedious each individual one, and making sure you got the gas there and the time and effort.
Yeah, use the ANKR RPC, the Anchor RPC, and use like 2 or 3 way. I gotta go, guys. I'm getting a call from my daughter.
I think
you can also go on Scan. You can see all of them listed, and just tick the revoke button. So that's another place you can do it. You don't have to use unwrapped.
Correct. You did on the
Yeah,
contract.
probably if you also have something on Polygon, they have their version, and ETH has their version as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Perfect. Well, folks, it is that time for the Spark rewards. We're going to unleash the beast, take someone into nitro mode here live, as we do every podcast. And we're going to celebrate. We have Kelly here. We got female energy in the podcast. Let's rejoice in that. Thank you for your presence, Kelly. We're going to get the second cold storage out of the freezer and defrost it. So here we go. Hang tight, guys.
Atlas, if you're playing music, we can't hear it, sir.
What was that?
If you're playing music, we can't hear it.
Oh boy, hold on a second. We got to rewind then. Thank you for letting me know. I'm looking here at the levels. Everything looks fine. Give me a second, sir.
No problem.
Another shot. Wow, you let a lot of time passed by. I was already in defrost mode over here.
I went in the kitchen to get a drink and came back and it was silent. And I thought, why is it silent? What's going on? And yeah.
Oh. Man, no volunteers today.
Missed the trick.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's try it one more time. Let me know if it works.
Yeah.
Did it work? Did it work? All right. Let's go. Let's go. Take a shot.
Get it.
She's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. Well, I'm your Venus. I'm your fire and your desire. Well, I'm your Venus. I'm your fire and your desire. Making every man mad. Like as a dark night she was, got what no one else had. Wow, she's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. Well, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire. Well, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire. She's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. Well, I'm your Venus. I'm your fire, your desire. Well, I'm your Venus. I'm your
There we are. And folks, tonight's lucky winner, their wallet ends in A055, and they're the winner of 297.30 ARK. Congratulations.
They say money can't buy happiness. Look at that fucking smile on my face.
Happy days. Is this a first-time winner? Coach Brad?
Just checking that now, sir. Give me one moment.
All right, we love first-time winners here. We love repeat
Play
winners.
the music, play the music.
Watch your ears. Here we go.
Oh yeah, let's get this crypto.
So they are officially in Nitro mode, folks. Congratulations. Sheesh. That's a nice boost. Any questions or comments before we go ahead and move it over to the DeFi sessions?
Just that we need to do the sweep widget draw. Whenever you talk about the Spark, I get excited and I forget about it. So before we move on, perhaps we should do that.
Mr. Fortunate, let's do that quick. And do we have Z? Yes, he's here. He's been here. The man on the move.
Do you
Tonight
know
we went
what?
to Venus, not to the moon, as they like to say in crypto.
We might have to skip the live drawing because it was actually Mistletoed that did that specific widget, and he is not with us. Fortunate, do you have access to? Oh no, yeah, you can. No, Fortunate can still do it. I apologise. He can still access it. So I'm right in saying that, right, Fort? Fortunate, you there, buddy?
It's all right. We can skip it for tonight. Or we could do a little bit later after the DeFi sessions.
I'm here.
All right, sorry, right ahead.
Awesome.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
If you're sharing your screen, Fort, we can't see it.
I didn't have the sweep widget on my end this time. That's on Mistletoe.
Oh, so can you not access it then?
Oh, you know what? Let me see.
Yeah, it's the same account.
Yeah, it's the same one. I think you can just do it as usual.
More
Bruh.
cowbell. More cowbell.
Bruh.
Hey, Raphael.
Is he with us tonight? Oh, yes, he is. Excellent. So we've got some DeFi sessions coming up. Excuse me.
Ready to turn on the bright lights for tonight.
Atlas, why don't we, when we do this draw, why don't we have the you do the sound effect of the wheel spinning and then give it a bit more oomph? What do you think?
Well, why not? Here we go. Misfire too early.
No, it's perfect.
Oh,
Awesome.
all right. Lillian Briggs. Congratulations.
Lillian Briggs is a second-time winner. I'm almost certain.
Fantastic. Moving on to the DeFi sessions with Mr. Z. What alpha have you got for us tonight, Mr. Z?
Hey, how we doing, everyone? We good?
Yes, sir. Happy to have you here, man.
Let's go. Yeah, man. Hectic as usual. There's so much in DeFi to cover. Today I thought we'd kind of look into ZK Sync a little bit. And yeah, I've got a few news articles for you guys. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's get the music going. Awesome. If you guys can see my screen, you'll see that I posted. Can you? Hello?
Yeah, you can see it.
You see it? All right, cool. So basically, I've put quite a few articles in today, and half of them are, you can say, news things, and then half of them will be small little airdrop things that people can do. So let's start off with some news. So the first article I'm going to look into is this one. So Bitcoin millionaires increased by 140% as BTC crossed 20K. So we saw the most amount of, you can say, Bitcoin millionaires past this year when Bitcoin touched above 20K this January. So that's pretty cool. I think we're going to see a bunch of this in DeFi happen. We're going to see it in a big way with layer 1s and layer 2s that are coming out this year. I think we're going to do the same thing like we see in Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin's been here for I think 13 years now, 14 years. So it makes sense to have people after, you can say, a decade or so, check their wallets out and they're worth quite a bit. So yeah, so I was going through this article and ended up speaking to a few, you can say, founders and got the idea that, we're really early to the game. So this was pretty cool. Really cool thing that Bitcoin's made a bunch of multimillionaires from hodling, right? So that was pretty cool. Straight after that, I kind of went on a ZK Sync rabbit hole. So I put up a article called boxmining.com, and what ZK Sync is doing right now is it's going through a bunch of testnet activities. And for people that don't know what ZK Sync is, it's a layer 2 rollup solution. So it uses zero knowledge rollups to build its ecosystem. So I'm pretty I'm looking forward to its launch and everything. But you can do a bunch of these testnet activities and start to get airdrops. So there's a bunch of projects on ZK Sync that are doing that. So what I did was I posted this article here, and then I posted you can say Argent, which is a DeFi wallet that uses ZK Sync. So you can download that, earn some airdrops there. There's a NFT project called Mint Square that's doing a testnet airdrop for its token. So these are the sort of small things that people can do, and these things will be worth quite a bit soon. So I posted things on that. There's another thing called Vertex Protocol. They're also based on, I think they're based on Arbitrum, and they're doing an airdrop. So there's instructions there by Box Mining. So yeah, today it's more into how we can start to interact with ZK Sync a little bit. and I've put a tutorial up on how you can add zk sync onto your MetaMask to participate in a bunch of different things. So yeah, I'll put a chain list link there. And then once you get, like, you can say airdropped with some sync tokens and some test ether, you can try out some really cool projects like Zigzag Exchange. So Zigzag Exchange is like you can do a testnet trade on the project, and then you earn some Zigzag tokens, which is pretty cool. So yeah, today it's much more about diving into what's available here, and airdrops are a big thing. I think Aptos, the people that got part of the Aptos airdrop, made up to $10,000 upfront with things. So we shouldn't miss the ZK Sync attributes there. So those are that. Now I'm gonna go look into MasterCard a little bit. So MasterCard is actually making it easier for people to make payments in stablecoins directly from the crypto wallets. So instead of going through wallet to wallet and bridging tokens and making a mess, MasterCard and Web3 tech company Immersive are set to offer a new option for paying physical digital metaverse purchases using crypto assets. So yeah, it's converging Web 2 and Web 3 in a really cool way. So it says here, as Web 2 and Web 3 increasingly converge, MasterCard remains committed to partnering with like-minded organizations like Immersive to scale and secure the blockchain's ecosystem to make safe crypto transactions. So yeah, so there's a bunch of updates there when it comes to MasterCard. I'm looking forward to that. So they're making it easier for you to, like, access fiat on ramp. What else have we looked into? Polygon is pretty cool. So Polygon's ID rollout has made its debut. So the article here reads, let me cross this here. Polygon rolls out zero knowledge, privacy enhanced identification product. Under the design for Polygon ID, a bar owner could theoretically use the credential verification system to verify a patron as of age without ever having to look at any identification card. So yeah, Polygon ID is to keep things private. It's good KYC and has much utility, like the example of the bar owner. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Polygon ID, and I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more because that's Polygon's big project for privacy. Yeah. The other thing that took my interest was so we talked about gaming a little bit the other day. And basically, I found out that Electronic Arts. So Electronic Arts, if you guys have played games like Call of Duty, FIFA, and you'll know this company, Electronic Arts. So one of the founding members of Electronic Arts, Trip Hawkins, is basically involved in building NFT games, and some of them are pretty cool. So. If you guys can see my screen, I want to play this video to you guys. Just an example of what's upcoming.
Dare to laugh in the face of your enemies. Believe in truth, honor, and justice. Transcend the limits of mortality. Fight the mythical creatures of Atlantis. Lead an army of mercenaries. Become one with the sword and prepare to achieve mastery of all martial arts. Why live in the shadows forever?
So yeah, that's a example of the Lands of Runeria, which is a game that's coming out soon. So people from the gaming industry like EA Sports, Ubisoft, are all basically going into building NFT games. So here's a few quotes that Hawkins said when he was announcing this. He goes, "I'm confident that blockchain combined with our vision can create a new gaming paradigm for the benefit of all. We plan to do it in a way that helps enhance gaming performance and values for players whilst keeping things fun." You're going to see much more of these sort of games come out. Gaming, I believe, has a user base of, I think, about 60 to 80 million folks worldwide. So that audience coming into DeFi is going to be big. That's the article there that sort of covers that. I think I have one more article to go through, and then we can. Basically, a former MetaMask developer as well released a really cool utility called Hyperplay, or is about to release a thing called Hyperplay. So right now, the gaming industry is kind of going through a feat with Apple and its sort of fee module. If any of you devs here know I think the Apple's dev fee is about 30% or something. So you give 30% of your in monetary terms, you give 30% fee to Apple, and the former MetaMask lead releases Hyperplay, a Web3 game launcher. So it's a launch pad basically, just like how MetaMask is. It's a launch pad called Hyperplay. And what Hyperplay is going to be doing is it's going to allow more gaming to come through and be earning a good residual and not being paying these huge hefty fees to app stores. Let me just show you guys there. I think I posted it here, but they have a lot of cool games that are coming up. And all these sort of developers that release these games are going to get full royalty. The other thing about Hyperplay, which is pretty cool, is it automatically detects MetaMask on MetaMask and Trust Wallet right now. So when you install Hyperplay, it detects your MetaMask address and connects you and puts you straight in the game, so you don't have to go through a bunch of verification and KYC and stuff. There's games like Altros, Another World, Bionic. These are games that people are going to be playing and earning quite a bit from. So it's a little peek into the future gaming. Let me see if I can get you a quote from Hyperplay. 1 second. So Jacob, who prefers to go by the first name .ethandle. So if you want to follow this guy, a really cool guy. So he quotes this. He goes, "Unlike the Apple Store, we're not taking a 30% cut of your developer's in-game economy. We're a super developer loyalty product. So instead of taking a cut as game sales or transactions, Jacob said that Hyperplay will generate revenue through offering convenience features within the app, similar to how MetaMask generates revenue. So Hyperplay will offer numerous games at launch, ranging from Undead Block to DeFi Kingdom, The Sandbox, Voxy Tactics, and Bornless, to name a few. The launch will support non-crypto games as well as Web3 titles." This is super bullish for gaming developers, and I'm looking forward to basically Hyperplay taking up. And once it's out, I'll sort of give you more insights on it.
Hey,
Yeah.
About that, I invested in a company about a year and a half ago called Robot Cash, and it's the world's first decentralized video game distribution and resale platform on the blockchain. It's kind of like GameStop. The brick and mortar thing, GameStop, but they took it to a different level where you can actually on, and you can resell your video game, and then when you sell it, it gives you tokens or points, and you can use those to buy others, and it follows you. Something it's still in a beta mode right now, but that's kind of similar to what you were talking about, but on a different type level. There's got to be some conjunction somewhere on that end. And also, I was going to ask you, what was the name of the digital identifier we're talking about?
Polygon ID.
There is
another
one out there right now called ZK Proof. It's called Zero Knowledge, and and that's exactly kind of what they're doing. I mean, there's it won't tell you the age, or it won't tell you, gives you it won't tell you the actual token number. The ID number of an NFT. It just says yes, you actually own an NFT. So it keeps that privacy. It just verifies that you qualify for whatever you're going to be doing, whether it's whatever on that. But that's.
That's really cool that you know about Zero Knowledge, because that's the technology that Polygon ID will be using to identify folks. Really cool.
Yeah, I thought so as well. Kind of something I was just reading about the other day when you had said that. So, oh man, I had to go back and figure out what that company was. But dig into Robot Cash if you get a chance, and just kind of see what your thoughts are on that. But that's kind of a neat thing as well.
Yeah. I'll check out RoboCash. I'm actually on their website right now. Really cool.
AMD, which is a huge, brand. They sponsor Roblox, so you actually can go to on AMD's site and pull up, and they have a link on there. So they're partnered with the big boys on that stuff. So
really cool, really cool. I'll read up on RoboCash more, and if there's any testnet games that I can play and earn, I'll give you more insights into it. I'll keep you posted. Oh, you can play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Ooh, let's go. Thank you. So I think that concludes my DeFi session for the night, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Z. Man, I wonder what Michael Saylor's up to. We don't talk about him enough. We forgot about Michael Saylor.
Yeah, he's not been doing any interviews or anything recently, right? He's been quiet.
He's always up to something.
Oh yeah. Michael Saylor's always is up to something. That's what I want to say. Drink Bitcoin. Yeah, usually his Twitter is very interactive with cool stuff.
I'm still dying to know what he thinks about ordinals.
He's posted an ordinal here with Bitcoin Sapiens. If you can see my screen.
Ooh, okay, there we go.
Yeah. There we go.
Last time we talked about him, I was like, I want to know. So he's posting it.
Hey, he's digging it. He's digging it.
Oh, this is good, man. But you sure it's an ordinal?
Yeah, Bitcoin Sapiens. Yeah, an ordinal.
Wow.
I saw on YouTube recently a deep fake of Michael Saylor that was really funny. It was him rubbishing Bitcoin.
Funny. Yeah, that was funny.
That was great.
What was it?
It was on YouTube. It was a total deep fake.
What's he saying here about Mr. Gensler? Consensus is building that everything in Bitcoin is security. Oh yeah, he's going with the narrative. He's on the payroll.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, he's a Bitcoin maxi, as we know, but he's NFTing it out. These are all ordinal NFTs.
Very interesting. Thank you, Mr. Z.
Anytime.
Another one. Bring it to alpha, to the community, to these wonderful people. Got Florida Realtor Man. He's all in on the ZK Snarks. This is impressive, folks. This is what it's about.
Mm-hmm. Something to definitely research. I think if you missed Aptos and these other sorts of airdrops, like I think ZK Snarks is an ecosystem that's going to bring gaming, real tech. There's some fashion stuff I was looking at that sort of that's been on Snarks, and yeah, there's a lot to look forward to.
I want my ticket to the moon
Mm-hmm.
to be on ZK Snarks.
Yeah, that's the future. If you look into crypto, ZK Snarks is going to be that invisible layer that brings utility and brings gamers, people from fashion, commerce, and Ernst and Young and all these Body Shop, all these big companies are already building on it. So I think that's the future.
Have you heard anything from Panther Protocol?
Panther Protocol. Thus far,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been ages. Like the whole privacy side. I think I kind of private scalable blockchain protocol for the Internet of Blockchains. I have I'll definitely look into them, see what they're up to. But they're based on are they based on Arbitrum as well? I think they're based on everything really.
Yeah,
Arbitrum.
Taking getting a lot of interest here lately.
Oh yeah, Arbitrum are they going through an airdrop as well? As well. So I think I'll post on that as well. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Awesome. I'll definitely. I think that the next time we do a session, I will look into Panther Protocol for sure. Thank you guys.
Yeah, let's keep up with them. See what they've been up to. Great team over there. These guys are building amazing stuff. No doubt, man. No degen stuff. Pure, logical, and safe crypto for the future. All right, folks. Let's see if there's any other questions or comments tonight before we conclude.
It looks like a platinum NFT was bought sometime in the last 24 hours. I noticed we're up to 16 now, and it was on 15.
It was,
and we had a big buy. Go ahead, Callus.
It was 4 hours ago. Somebody leveled up, and it looks like they leveled up from a silver to a gold, and then from a gold to a platinum. If I'm interpreting it correctly. And if that's the case, somebody likely kind of dipped their toe in the water with a silver, and then said, "Heck yeah, let's do it," and went big. The other thing that's I noticed is just during this podcast, with all the talk of legacy NFTs, with what Coach Brad was talking about, 2 other silvers have been minted during this podcast.
Looks like some smart money read also the weekly newsletters, because $9,000 buy-in came into the vault. You guys saw that one too?
Yes,
that
sir.
just came in maybe 10 minutes ago or so.
Yes, sir. And then speaking of the newsletters, those have been updated with the Crypto Badgers embedded videos.
Whoa. Oh, let's go.
Poker game, Pillar's Poker Party has the date for that's been updated.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Gets better every single day, folks. Fantastic. Really, really happy with the newsletter. What a great podcast to see, our leaders here working together, helping each other. It is a beautiful sight to see, guys. This is what it's about. This is what growth is. What, sir?
I said in real time.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and we've been wanting to do this, but it's hard to condense these podcasts, and it's a lot of information. It's they're long. I mean, what are we here tonight? 3 hours and 18 minutes already. Having a great time, being here together, talking about crypto, answering questions, and giving away the Spark rewards, seeing the 9,000. What is this? 9,111.1 BUSD buy come in, and maybe you already know the answer, Catalyst, but what do you think the legacy external investment fund is at right now?
The external investment fund?
Yes, sir.
I don't know.
Okay. See, I got one you don't have. Let's go. If you were to guess, without the calculator, roughly ballpark, where
400, 450.
Catalyst, or anyone else who wants to take a guess?
We're over 500 grand.
No, the 80% is the legacy external fund. 20% goes to the pool. So it's that 80%. Well, I'm giving you the guys the answer. We just kind of wanted people to take a guess, but you're very close, Coach Brad. And Callis doesn't want to guess. He wants to be precise.
Well, he's working it out right now.
I know he is. He's like, keep talking. You're not going to pull one on me.
I'm doing the math wrong. If Coach Brad is close, then
he's 10,000 away from the actual price. So he said 400, 450,
or 460, or 410.
440. You got it, brother. Let's go. $440,000.
Wow. If you guys want, you can invest in me.
We already are.
Yeah.
We've been for a long time. And it's paid out really good dividends. Really good dividends.
Well, I purchased 5 NFTs for the poker party, Coach Brad.
You certainly did, sir. Oh, you upped it then, yeah. That's nice. They didn't have great engagement, but I know that every time I've looked at it, ARK was leading the numbers. So, at least we're doing our bit, but...
Where's it at now? If anyone knows.
I would have to have a quick look. Give me a minute and I will tell you.
Because I only have the Discord information. I don't think they update that every day in the group.
That's just, it says a lot for the community. I mean, our community always shows up. I mean, we're always first. We're always have support wherever we're doing AMAs or doing these contests. I mean, it shows a lot for the community just to show up and do that. I mean, I think a week or two ago, we didn't have no NFTs. So now we've got more than all of them. Some of them 2 or 3 put together. Just shows a lot for the community.
So Alchemy have minted 6, Nexus have minted 3, Yabonks has minted 11, Seifu has minted 17, the Only Burns has minted 19, and ARK has minted 25.
All right. Let's go, but it's a lot less than the last time.
We need it to be 10 times more on all of those, to be completely honest. It's good that we're leading the bunch, but we're leading at a very low total. Me and Catalyst have minted 10 of them between 2 of us. Brett, I think, has minted 5.
I'm minted 5.
So there you go. Me, Shannon, Brett, and Catalyst. There's only one other person that's minted some. So it's only 5 out of 3,000, 3,400 members or whatever we're at now. We need more, to be honest.
Brett, I tell you what, I mean, this is just my observation. I always have to hunt or ask for that advertisement. I always see the Ultimo card coming up like every 10 minutes flowing through. I mean, I say right now, why this contest, why the Pillars group is going on, I say get that on rotation. I mean, if the more and more people see it, the more they're going to get on about it. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody right now that might want to go in and buy NFTs, and it's not something you can just go in there and just find. You've got to ask for it or hunt for it on that end.
It is actually in rotation at the same distribution as Ultimo. It's in every 3 hours.
Well, good deal. Well, people need to go on and get some of those NFTs.
I totally agree, Mr. Realtor.
And I think the way that it's going to happen this time, because they can't, buy the ARK token, I think the winnings are going to go to the folks that actually bought the NFTs. So it'll go to those people, but don't quote me on that. Let me talk to Matt Hatter and get the details. He did write it, but I was doing 10 things at the same time.
Now things are really going to fly off the handle now.
Yeah. Let me confirm, because he wrote it. I was driving, doing a couple things a couple days ago. So we're trying to find a solution.
I want to be involved, and I'd love to sit at the table, and ultimately, obviously, I want to win, but I don't want to win my fellow communities' money. I want to win the money from all the other communities, and assimilate them over to the ARK. So they need to buy more as well. That's the problem. It's not just us that needs to up our game. They all need to as well.
They're afraid.
In all honesty, it could literally be a case of, well, we may as well just wire Atlas the money now, and they're not buying because of that.
Well, you know what, Atlas, you need to let them know next time there has to be a minimal investment amount. I mean, if you're invited to this elite VIP round of the table, I mean, you should have enough following. You should be able to at least have enough people to invest in, at least 25 NFTs in you. I mean, if you can't get someone to do that, then you might not be at the table. I mean, you just mentioned some of those folks has like 4 or 5 or 6. I would think that that you would at least have, if you have to buy them yourself, or something, just to have enough to be at the table, I would think.
Yeah. And it'd be great to see if we can get Brett on the table too, the architect. I mean, ideally, we always go together to do these things. So this time they're giving you 5. I think it's 5 random people. I guess 1 from each project. So yeah, there's more chances. But yeah, we got more time. We got another week added to the deadline, and we'll get with it. We'll show them the heat that we're going to generate here. And I think Max Power, he wants to play. So,
yeah, right.
We'll figure it out. We'll find a solution, boys. Don't worry. We're going to shine.
I saw that we were in front on the leaderboard, the early leaderboard.
We have, but we've had to, or we haven't. They have put the event back a week because, last time we had one of the projects mint 300 NFTs on their own, another one like around 140, and in total there isn't even, I don't think there's more than 60 minted in total. It's very low participation. ARK is in top spot, which is good to see, but even we need 10 times. Every one of those projects needs 10 times the amount they've got for it to, be a beneficial thing for the winner.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. Don't worry. We always do. We always do, boys and girls.
Yes,
so, folks, thank you so much for coming tonight, being here. Dontel, thank you for doing the explanation. Thank you, Catalyst, for your great work. Max, Bizy Dips, for working together as a team and really helping us to create here, not only these amazing videos that you guys do every week, but also having a written summary that really represents the professionalism and the quality of everything that we do here at ARK. We don't want to do things that don't really, impress. We always say dress to impress here, right? And I couldn't be happier. I know Brett too. We've talked about it. Very happy with the work that's being done with the team, the community, the contest, and all of the content creators that are really coming together. Brandon's another shining light here for all of us. So we'll continue on our path. We'll continue on our growth. One thing I forgot to say, we're going to be doing a TikTok pretty soon. I'm waiting for the date with a gentleman we spoke about before from Australia that approached us, and he was asking for way too much money and didn't want to kind of work out a deal with us. But now he came back again, but through an agent, and the pricing is reasonable. It's worth for us to give it a shot. We're going to give him a starter account, the 10 ARK, and that way we can measure the analytics and see if it's effective or it isn't effective. So a test, I know we've talked about TikTok here. So let's be effective and use someone that has that access, has a large community, and we'll be able to gauge if it's worth it or not. And if it is, then we'll continue on that path. And maybe some of our content creators here will be inspired if they see results that it's worth their time as well. With that, we also want to thank Kelly for coming over this evening and taking questions. She'll be back also next week. Thank you for everyone that asked questions and gave suggestions. We always want to improve every chance we get, anything here at the ARK. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. EST, 11 p.m. UTC. For the folks that are listening, thank you for your participation. And maybe through watching the Crypto Badgers videos and also reading the newsletter now on the official Medium publication of ARK, you'll be able to get the information in a condensed, easy, fun, entertaining format. Because we do know that we go a bit long here as we enjoy being here with all these great folks in the community, all these fantastic leaders. Everyone have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, Atlas. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.